Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of chakraboosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos. And thank you for joining me for this forecast. It's the energy forecast for 2020. See, now it's even fun just to say that, right? 2020. 2020, it's so symmetrical. So it's already giving us a feeling that we're going to have balance. But what's even cooler is that we're going from a 3-year, 2019, which is a numerological 3-year and relates to more of the solar plexus energy and the action and the independence, into a 4-year that has a lot of intimacy, because 2 and 2, there's the intimacy adding up to 4. So lots of intimacy, a lot of dyads, but also lots of connection with everyone, more connection in the world, period. The solar plexus and heart chakra are almost opposites. In many, many ways, they are opposites. The solar plexus was 2019. We don't want to lose that energy. We're going to bring it into 2020. But basically, the solar plexus is fire and independence, and it has an ego orientation where it makes it a little harder for you to take others' perspectives. You can have a healthy ego and a healthy solar plexus. I have a video called 11 Signs You Have a Healthy Ego, and that would be a really good one to watch, because you don't want to throw out the previous year. We're always building with chakra work. So in order to actually, people think in order to open your heart, which we're all going to be doing in 2020, in order to open my heart, I need to let go of my solar plexus, my ego, everything that is fiery about me. I have to get rid of my anger. I have to get rid of my, sometimes people don't even realize they're saying on a subconscious level, I need to get rid of my boundaries, right? But we need our boundaries, ironically, to be better connected, because our boundaries, our personal boundaries, are what allow us to connect lovingly with others and not lose ourselves. And our solar plexus, a healthy, developed solar plexus, is what allows us to open our heart. But there's this myth, because so much of spirituality, religion, I'm going to say, not spirituality, religion over thousands of years actually has made the ego wrong and the heart right, like kindness. And yes, kindness is good, but egos are just our conscious self. It's when ego is unhealthy that is the problem. We haven't made that distinction. We just call it ego. Unhealthy ego, big problem. Healthy ego, necessary. In fact, in chakra balancing, we are wanting to get particularly the neighboring chakras, all the chakras, but particularly the neighboring ones, to be more in balance. So in order for us to open our heart more in 2020, we need to make sure we learn the lessons of 2019 to take good care of self, to have boundaries, to be consciously aware. We brought a lot of things out of the dark and the unconscious into the conscious realm, because the solar plexus is the conscious analytical mind. But in 2020, we're going to take all that craziness that happened in 2019, and we're going to, it's like, I just saw this vision, like someone's going through a house and they're looking for something. Is what we were doing last year. We were looking for things we couldn't see, or we were being shown things we couldn't see. And we were doing it with gusto, because it was a solar plexus year. And it's as if you're going into this house, and the house is yours, right? But you don't recognize it in some ways, and you don't know what you're looking for even, but you know that when you find it, you'll know it. Okay, so you're roughing through the house, just tearing everything apart. And 2020 is the solar plexus years when we go, aha, I see it. But the solar plexus can have a tendency to stay isolated and also to judge. Whereas the healing comes with the heart energy. So now, if a lot happened in 2019 and you're standing in your house and a lot of stuff is revealed now, you're looking around and you're seeing a lot more, especially stuff that was hidden from you, that was in the unconscious, but it's all scattered now. It's now time that you're like the heart energy, the loving mother energy, where you come in and you go, no problem, let's just organize this, because 2020 is organizational and loving and connected. So you'll come in and you'll just start to clean up the room. And in this cleaning up, there's going to be an integration. So 2020 is a big healing integration year. So I'm going to try to keep it basic. You know, basic is not my strength, but my guides had me narrow it down to 3 themes for 2020. So let's look at these 3 themes for 2020. The first theme is really obvious. I wanted to pull it out because I wanted to remind you again that symbolism is the way that life talks to us. Life, consciousness, God, whatever word you want to put on it, symbolism is life, awareness, God speaking to us. 2020 means seeing clearly. Seeing clearly. Now, in 2019, we saw things we hadn't seen before. Solar plexus energy clarity, and it's all about clarity, but it's a masculine clarity. I see clearly my goal. I can focus on that. It's that kind of clarity. That's not what we're talking about here. 2020 is about spiritual clarity, where we take the things from 2019 that we actually got insight on, and we move them from a place of where we've had them on the periphery, and we bring them into our heart. We integrate them. So we're moving them from a place of where we might have been estranged from them, or we may have been judgmental, and we're moving them into the heart. You feel that? Where there's healing, where there's integration, where we get an equilibrium. So 2020 is about seeing clearly with a capital C, which always includes the heart. When we're looking from solar plexus only, we see things in a goal-oriented type of clarity, like a focus clarity. I'm getting a really good analogy right now that I just want to do a little aside here. And it's actually a tool that I want to give to you too. My guides are giving this to me, and I just can't ignore healing tools. There's this kind of focus. So right now, as you're listening to me, pick a spot, something you see somewhere, and just look at it and focus on it. That is third chakra focus. It's very boom. Can you feel that? Let yourself feel that, even in your solar plexus as you hold that. Now, we might be seeing clearly, but it's very narrow, and that's what the solar plexus specializes on, a narrow thing. It sees for self, it sees narrowly, but we want to expand that. So literally, as you're watching that dot, we're going to do something called xoxo. Xoxo is a great way to go into your heart more, to go into trance more, and to include the all. And what I'm going to suggest is that clarity in 2020, seeing clearly, is actually the opposite of focusing too hard on something, but it's about taking that focus you already have about something you've seen, something you know, or many things that you know from 2019, and then expanding that into love awareness, into God consciousness, total awareness. So as you watch that dot, I know I keep looking over there because I'm looking at a dot too. As you watch your spot, whatever it is, on the wall or wherever you're at, keep your focus on it, but soften your eyes, soften the muscles of your eyes, and start to expand your focus to go further into the periphery. Okay, just let your focus start to go in the periphery, and I want you to let it go, go, go. At the same time, you're keeping the original focus, but you're softening on it. It's not so hard anymore, which basically is saying we have to let go. We keep the focus, the solar plexus, because we've already developed that. Last year was a good solar plexus year. A lot of you stepped into your power. A lot of us stepped into our power. So you're going to keep that, but now you're going to simply expand it out into the wider periphery. So let it go out into the periphery, let it go out, and feel how it softens, expands. It lets more in, it lets more in, it lets more in. You're going to go all the way around to behind you. So you have like a 360. Feel that wrapping you. That energy, that kind of clarity where you can literally feel into and see on a certain level the space behind you, where you're including the all. That's the 2020 that I'm talking about. that kind of vision in 2020. That's the symbolism. It's not the 2020 of absolute focus, but that 2020 is also important because we developed that in 2019, and you're going to take it with you. So you notice with Hakalau, I didn't take your eye off of the focus spot. We just included everything else. So the symbolism here is you're going to keep your solar plexus focus. You're going to keep what you've learned. You're going to keep what you've seen, and now you're going to integrate it. You're going to go into the house and you're going to start organizing and cleaning up, and you're going to love each thing you pick up. It's like you're having memories with every single thing that you pick up. Can you feel that? It's beautiful. And as you pick it up, it's like you're putting it on or you're putting it into you. Okay? This is really important. So that's the kind of clarity we're talking about. Can you practice that? Maybe for the next week, practice Hakalau at least. Let it become something where you can feel yourself having focus. That's the solar plexus chakra. That's that important energy of your own. But then it goes out into the other realms, into the whole of existence. Like it goes all the way around you, and you feel yourself in the heart and equanimity of your heart. That's when you're going to really integrate all that you've seen. And real clarity comes from accepting and integrating all that we see, especially about ourselves, because there's a tendency to judge, especially when we're in just the solar plexus chakra without the heart. And we're going to expand the heart in 2020 because 2 and 2, double intimacy, has to do with 4 and heart energy, which is about connection. Okay, so number 1 is seeing clearly, but in a much wider view of what's seeing clearly. Seeing clearly, my guides are telling me, add innocence, add self-love and innocence. Seeing clearly always entails acceptance and innocence and self-love and love of other, because self-love expands into love of other. Doesn't mean we can't say I like this or I don't like that, right? But a rejection, a non-acceptance, a rejection of something is a rejection of a part of the field. The field is God. The field is all awareness, and we are just an element of the field. We are a part of that. So seeing clearly means knowing we are God energy and we are everything, and therefore we allow and accept everything. And as an individual slice of the divine, we still choose to do this and not that because we're in a space-time continuum where we need to make choices, and it's fun to have preferences. We're playing here. This is play. But at the same time, we don't make wrong other people's choices. We accept in the field. So part of doing Hakalau on a spiritual and emotional, psychological level is to be accepting of all of you and all of others. That's the seeing clearly that I'm talking about. Number 2, connection. Particularly connection that it's hard energy connection, and it's literal connection, working with people, connecting more with family, connecting back with people you haven't connected with in a long time. Connection. On an intimate level, on the dyad level, 2, 20, we have 2 2s, and on the larger level, 4, the heart level of, again, acceptance and connection to everyone. Now, we can't literally be connected to everyone, so you're going to pick. But work also in 2020, and I should say play because it's not really work, on when non-acceptance comes in. Old judgments come in. They're usually of yourself, and then you might project them on another. When they come in, or if they come in, because they do, it's part of being human, just acknowledge it. And what I like to do is a shadow statement. When I find myself judging, I like to add a shadow statement or it goes like this: just like me. So, my boss is doing blah, 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 and then you just say, just like me. You say, but I'm not like that. The truth is, even if we aren't overtly showing a particular behavior, it's in our field. It could have been stopped when we were a child, and we could even be drawing it more in our field because it's trying to come home. So isn't that funny? Like if someone's annoying in your field, it might just be a part of you trying to come home. So extend love and connection to that. Okay, so connection to all the different parts of yourself, but literal connection to other people. Now, when it comes to literal connection, we're going to use the power energy that was developed in 2019 to say, who do I really want to connect with? That's the, like, who do I feel a resonance with? Who gives me more, it's more fun. I feel more myself around them. So these are important questions. It isn't like willy-nilly connection. It's about connection that chooses, because you learned a lot about choice in 2019. So it's funny, I'm finding as I channel this, you guys, that my guides are being quite specific. We're getting these themes, but then the themes are getting made much more specific in a more heart generalized way, or in a way that acknowledges the third chakra. Like 2020 and seeing clearly came out different than I've ever seen. Seeing clearly is usually like, you know, an eye test, like focus, and that really came out differently here. Same thing's happening with connection, but in reverse. They're showing me that sometimes in the spiritual world, we think of connection as being, well, I got to connect to everyone in a literal physical way. I have to deal with this, accept this, go here, do that. No, accept your boundaries, accept what you like and what you don't. Acceptance is good to work on an energetic level, because it allows you to accept back all parts of yourself. But it isn't, you don't want to disembody. You do not want to get on a level, well, first, you don't want to overwork yourself. I have to connect with everybody indiscriminately. No, that's not what this is about. Connect with the people you want to connect with. Work on energetically finding the you in everybody else. Meaning that if you're literally rejecting, see if you can't say just like me, or find the part of you that's trying to come home, the shadow work. And again, if you haven't done my shadow videos, this is an important time to do that. I'll have links down below. Do my shadow videos so that you can go into 2020 more free. Because when we get connected with other people and we have shadows of self that we're judging, we will tend to project those shadows and judge people in the same way we're judging ourselves. So, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with judging. We're human. We all judge. And it's just a question of what you do with your awareness of the judgments. And do you work toward more self-love, self-acceptance, acceptance of others? Or do you just willy-nilly believe the judgments, believe them? Because again, we're all. We're a slice of the divine. So we are everything. There's nothing we can see outside of us that we are not. Does that make sense? So integration is a wonderful, wonderful practice. So do bring your 2019 discrimination to who you want to connect with. At the same time, though, there's a lot of divine energy pouring in this year. So notice who is set right in your path. Notice who comes to you. But if someone comes to you and it is a no, that's your 2019 energy saying, listen to your no. Do the spiritual energetic work with yourself, but with the other, do boundary work. Really, because this is your playground. This world is your playground, and it's limited. We're actually in a 3D world at the moment. We are unlimited spirits, but we're in a simulation that's quite real. We're in a real experience of the divine in flesh. You are the divine in flesh. So that's pretty cool. That means that those limitations get us to understand our preferences better. That's wonderful. We're not meant to be vanilla across the board. Yes, resistance against anything might point to opening your heart more to yourself and to others. Your heart, the energy of it. But your physical body can only be so many places in space and time. So when you're connecting, choose who. I'm asking you, man, my guides are getting more and more as I'm speaking. They're getting more adamant to tell you this, because you in my tribe tend to be pretty empathic and very kind and giving, and sometimes boundaryless. I'm really working on boundaries, you guys, still. The way I grew up, no boundaries. So they're saying, as you make these connections, make sure you have healthy boundaries. Make sure you are listening to your own preferences, your own bodily reactions to the people that you're connecting with, and find the healthiest connections for your full embodied self. And ultimately, after you've done some work, let's see, I'm going to see if I can make sure that I don't have my ringer on here so that you don't get any more dings. But I always notice this, the dings, like when I would do life coaching a lot in LA, there would be ambulances going by, because how city is. And when the ambulance went by, it always seemed to be underlining. So I believe the angels are underlining for us with that ding, underlining this boundary aspect. Connect, but not indiscriminately. Let the work, the energetic connection, the work be with you in accepting others, but not necessarily connecting. This physical world of connecting has limited time and space. So I want you to choose, who do you want to connect with? Who's your tribe? Who's your tribe? And there's a lot of like home foundational energy in this 2020 year. So whoever you connect with and you begin to do things with, co-create with, which again, 2-2 creation energy, lots of co-creation. This isn't just connecting with people to like hang and not do anything. This is connecting with people to co-create and to co-create around the divine feminine. 11-2, the divine feminine, the sacral. This is about feeling comfortable in your emotions with these people. Can you feel that? Can you see I'm getting excited? This excites me. This energy absolutely excites me. Finally, the third theme in 2020 is the heart energy is the healing energy, but it's the healing energy that feels good. So sometimes if you know the goddesses, Kali is the fire goddess that like shakes things up. Well, 2019 had that kind of fire energy. Things got shaken up. So I'm feeling in 2020 this, like the first vision I got where the house, like you go in and in 2019 we went in and we literally ripped our own house apart looking for something, and we didn't even know what we were looking for, but we found lots of things that we didn't know we were looking for. I know I did. And now they're just kind of scattered around. And in 2020, this healing, the four energy of the heart moving through us, the clarity, the larger heart clarity of 2020 Hakalau vision is going to give us the ability to integrate. So there was a lot of shadow work and deep work done in 2019 that might feel a little bit raw. 2020 is the equilibrium year to find the places that really feel like healing. This isn't the Kali shake it up healing. This is the, okay, you have shook it up, shaken it up. You've already done that. So now it's time, dear one, to nurture. So it's got this kind of energy. I'm just feeling it like nurture yourself. And bring, again, going back to the choice of who you're connected with and connecting with. It's about connecting with nurturing people that bring you equilibrium, make you feel safe and seen and held and accepted. Loved is really good, but when you can't necessarily, love can sometimes be too much because it's too much to aim for because of the way we use the word love. But really, love in the spiritual sense is total acceptance. When someone just accepts us, that friend that just listens and doesn't try to fix anything or doesn't try to doesn't judge, doesn't make anything wrong, just like keeps loving us. This is the relationship, the healing relationship you want to have with yourself, and this is the healing you want to have with those around you. And again, we're back to the discrimination of choosing who's around you in 2020, because you're building a foundation actually this year around tribe, friends and family. And again, friends can become family. The second part to this healing is that this is a year I'm feeling huge energy. If there's anything left around inner child, and most of us have something we still need to communicate with our inner child. So the two energy of the sacral is the child energy, and it's double here, and it adds up to healing. So this is all about your inner child. You can see, I guess I gotta go this way. You can see my frame back there. You can see my walls are empty. So hopefully you guys, I've been not wanting to put anything on my new walls until I knew exactly what I wanted to put. I'm starting to feel it now. So it's coming in 2020. But I do have the picture back there of my child self, and I have 3 images to remind me of connecting with this little one within me. And I just want to remind you, this is a huge part of healing in 2020, inner child work. I have a couple of videos that I'll make sure around inner child, a meditation around your mother and inner child, and then I have a couple videos where it's about inner child work to heal the upper chakras and the lower chakras. I'll make sure that those videos have a link below. But it's important. It's so important. Like even right now, I want you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Just like that. Just keep breathing deep like that. And I want you to feel into your heart and invite your little inner child to show up inside. Just, you may feel him or her. You might see your inner child. It doesn't matter. You just know the presence in one way or in many ways. And you may notice the age, or if you're seeing it visually, what he or she is wearing. And whatever you notice for just a moment, we're not going to go into an exercise here because I'm just I'm trying. I told you it's never simple for me. I'm just doing the 2020 energy reading, but I do want you to acknowledge that this child is here ready to be loved by you, ready to be seen by you. Just feel into your inner child's heart. Can you feel? It's so magical. And I just feel like more people are going to be doing this in 2020, more healing energy, more equanimity, more safety and foundation's going to be here. So there's just a lot of opportunities in 2020 to have easy access, loving access to your inner child. And inner child work can be as simple as just calling up, having a picture next to your bed where, like I do there, where you just look at your little child self and you call up the energy of your little child self with your eyes closed, and you just emanate love, and you listen and you be there for your inner child, and you say, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. You say whatever you feel the child you really needs to hear, because you're the one that knows better than anyone what your inner child self needs to hear. So if you haven't opened your eyes now, you can just open your eyes and know your inner child is within, waiting for you to come back and visit. And I think it'd be great if you did it daily now, daily going into the new year. Create a picture like I have there, it's backwards on my video, like I have right there. Create a picture, draw on it if you want, so get a picture of you as a child, and create a frame is what I'm saying, a picture with like maybe several images, or if you just have one you really love, use that one, but make sure it's one that touches your heart, and then use it daily. Put it by your bedside and connect with your inner child daily. So those are the 3 themes, you guys. There are more, but I don't want to overwhelm. And I think those are 3 to really, really focus on. They're beautiful, aren't they? 2020, I want you to feel into this energy. 2020 has an equanimity heart. Remember, the balance point in our field is our heart. So it's going to feel, if you just step into the collective energy of 2020 and you stay out of any collective energy of the drama of people continuing the 2019 fire, just Watching that is going to be like watching a movie for you. If you can stay in the equanimity of your heart, if there's any dramatics, if there's polarization, if there's anger, if there's people that are at combat, that's fire fighting fire. That's 2019. That's polarization, judgment. All that is like the shadow side of solar plexus 2019 energy. And if you see that in 2020, just remember, it's like a movie you're watching, right? You'll feel it. Stay in your heart, stay in your 2020 energy, and send healing to it. Really send healing to it. And it doesn't help, it doesn't give healing to it for you to get involved in it, right? No, it doesn't. So watch it like a movie, be empathic like you would, be caring like you would with a movie. Like we often cry when we're watching a movie, feel for it, but don't convince yourself or don't confuse yourself for being in the movie. You don't need to be in that movie. You're in the nice, I just see you sitting in the audience, and yet you're embodied because you're with all the people in the audience. Can you feel that? You're with the people in the audience, and you actually have friends there and family there. They're all in the audience with you. This is a year of connectivity, active connectivity, physical connectivity. You can do it online, but you're also going to want to be embodied. 2020 is about embodiment. I will see you on the next video, but wait, it is a goddess here, so we have to draw 2 goddess cards because again, we have so much goddess energy in that 2-2 energy. So let me just shuffle the goddess cards. I'm going to shuffle them 3 times. 1, okay, and 2, and 3. Okay. Let's draw 2 goddess cards. Okay. And that's the butterfly maiden. I'm going to put my glasses on here so I could see her fully. Okay. Transformation. It says you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So there's all these butterflies and joy and everything in this one, you guys. Can you see it? Like it's really, really, really beautiful. It's lovely. And it's so true because change is only mental when we keep it in the solar plexus. It's only mental. It can even be negative. It can be like judgmental, and we can change to make others happy or to make ourselves feel better about ourselves or whatever. But true transformation is like the butterfly completely changing from the inside out. And it always requires acceptance. Like maybe the caterpillar goes into the cocoon kicking and screaming, but it doesn't stay that way, right? It surrenders inside the cocoon. So this butterfly maiden is reminding us that the changes that were kicked up last year are such a blessing now as we bring them into our heart, as we do our inner child work, and it also is inviting us to go within some more, I think. I think it's saying that because there's a whole, on the one side, there's this darkness to it, and there's the cocoon element of the butterflies. So you may still, parts of you might still be cocooning, but I mean, I really want to, as I said that, my guides were tapping on my shoulder saying, no, but look at all the butterflies, look at all the butterflies, look at all the butterflies. So I do believe most of the rooting through the house is done. If you go back into the house now, it's going to be with lots of consciousness, lots of love, like you're going to go in there with such an awareness. And it won't be like it was last year, kind of challenging and unknown and ramshackle is the word I'm getting. It won't be like that. It'll be quite purposeful. You'll have more focus on what it is you're really looking for. And you'll look under things, but with love. Like if a child looks under a rock and finds bugs, if you look under a rock and you're just doing it ramshackle, you might let spiders and bugs out and be like, ooh. But when a child with loving curiosity, and this is your inner child again, loving curiosity, picks up the rock and turns it over, and then looks underneath, the bugs are playful. It's like, oh, look, a little ladybug. Oh, look, a little centipede. Look. And it has this loving acceptance. I hope this makes sense, you guys, because this is what I'm seeing. That's the energy of this year. It's that kind of energy. No more of this challenging, tear it apart energy of last year. Okay? And then our second card is White Tara, sensitivity. So White Tara White Tara is reminding us that of the two energies of this year. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So I love this card. White Tara is blessing us with this whole theme that my guides were giving us around connection. We are sensitive beings. We will be connecting more in 2020. So as we connect more in 2020, we need to nurture our own sensitivities. And Tara is reminding me that I didn't include that you have relationship with what you eat, with the chemicals in your environment, with the sounds in your environment. You have relationship with all these things. So it's actually going to be a year of nurturing, loving. Tara's always about heart energy, loving your needs, loving your needs. It's so funny because I said sound sensitivity. I don't know if you can hear it, but outside, like, I'm not too far. I'm from the airport, but I still hear the planes going over, and I just heard one. So it's about creating, nurturing, safe connections, whether it's with other people, with yourself, or with other things, with what you eat, with your environment, with your job and activities. Are you being nurtured by these things? And it's time to set down boundaries if you're not. And boundaries not from a place of rejection, like solar plexus energy of I don't like that, but rather, that's not my preference. I know that exists. I know it's a possibility, but I'm going to do this instead. Can you feel that energy? Without any resistance, there's no pushback. So let the White Tara energy allow you to build really healthy relationships with everything in your life and allow you to set the boundaries that you need to set for 2020. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for sharing this energy forecast with me. I love you so much, and I will see you in the new year.